I'm Kate Kelly with America Comes Alive, where you'll find great stories simply told. We don't always think of the post office as an engine for change, but throughout American history, delivery of the mail brought about better roads, canal systems, railroads, and even air travel. In the early 20th century, flight was one of the most exciting developments to come along. The postal administrators began envisioning how they could use it. The Wright brothers hoped to get money from the War Department, but instead, the post office embraced flight. In 1911, Earl Ovington was sworn in as the first mail carrier pilot. He was to fly daily from Garden City to Mineola, New York. He flew in an open cockpit monoplane with the mailbag in his lap. When he arrived at the drop-off point, he brought the plane down to 500 feet and tossed the bag out. The local postmaster would then retrieve it. On the first day, the mailbag burst open on landing. Letters scattered across the landing area. Some got caught up in the wind and traveled much farther afield. The next day, a heavier, better-bound bag was used. By 1918, the Postal Air Service was ready to fly between big cities. Initially, the service was between New York and Washington, D.C. Philadelphia was the fuel stop. The pilots were a hardy lot. Because the planes had open cockpits, the men withstood cold temperatures as well as rain and snow. The plane chosen was the former World War I de Havilland DH-4. A mail compartment was added, but the flying equipment was primitive. Most planes had a simple altimeter and a compass that often didn't work. The pilots flew by sight, feel, sound, and wit. They followed rivers or train tracks for certain routes. Spotting landmarks often involved tipping the plane sideways so the pilot could see below. Bad weather should have halted flying, but the postal administrator in charge wanted the mail to get through, though it was noted that he had never been in an airplane. Of the first 40 pilots hired, at least half were killed in weather-related accidents. By 1920, the Postal Service set up a plan for transcontinental mail delivery. Planes could be used during the day, but at night they needed to deliver the mail to a town with rail service. Then the mail bags could travel by train at night. Planes could not navigate in the dark. At dawn, the mail would put back on a different plane for the next leg of the trip. Only a year later, businesses were pushing for even faster delivery. The post office hired extra workers to tend bonfires on a limited number of flight paths. The bonfires lit the way, and if the pilot needed to refuel, they could do so by landing near a bonfire. This reduced travel time to only 35 hours coast to coast. The fastest transcontinental rail delivery took 3 days. These early mail flights paved the way for passenger service. Even during the early days, postal pilots accepted an occasional passenger. Young men often hung out near landing spots and begged to hitch a ride, sitting on the mailbag. I'm Kate Kelly with America Comes Alive. Look around and see what inspires you.